You work hard and finally get into the position to afford your dream car, a Porsche. But what's the point in having a supercar with so much potential if you haven't got the experience to use it safely on the roads today? Well, that's why Porsche have introduced the Porsche Driving Experience, a chance to spend a day with a qualified instructor teaching you on and off-road driving skills. Today we've got the use of a 911 Carrera 4 and my instructor is Steve Smith. So Steve, what are we going to look at today?
Hopefully we're going to look at some of the safety features which are built into this car, some of the technological gadgetry, and also looking at some driving skills both on-road and off-road to try and help you to enjoy your Porsche in safety.
So we've got the use of a private test track. What are the main benefits that can teach to somebody, hopefully me by the end of the day?
Well, what we have is the opportunity to be repeatable. We can take you around the circuit and show you something. If you haven't got the hang of it, then we can do it again and again and again in a safe and controlled environment. We also have the use of a bold circuit, so we can look at some speed issues. We have a steering pad, so we can look at steering and acceleration issues. And then we've got a short circuit, so we can actually take you around and look at the balance and dynamics of the car.
So we're going to look at all aspects of the way that the car handles and braking and understeer and oversteer, and hopefully at the end of the day I'll go away a better driver.
I hope so. That's the name of the day, yes. Now the secret of driving on a bowl is to be smooth. The smoother you are, the more effective it is. Now you can see we've got the white line to our right hand side. If we keep that white line about 6 to 9 inches away from the driver's side right hand wheel, then that will be the optimum running area. So we're easing the car through now, doing around 82, 84 miles an hour. Now the exit you can see on our right there is where we do our braking exercises. So we're going to go around one more time and then I'm going to do the braking exercise. So that's 109 miles an hour. And you can feel the car, the ABS is working its way, and then we're to a complete stop. Now when I did that, you may or may not have noticed, but I put the clutch completely to the floor when I braked. There are a couple of reasons for that. Number one, it removes the engine from the drive scenario, so it gives us the ability to stop slightly quicker. But also, with the pedals being quite close together, which is great for heel and toe, there are a few people that, particularly if they've got broad-soled shoes on, they can catch the throttle and the brake together. So with the clutch down, we haven't got 300 horsepower driving us at the problem. So getting the clutch down is quite important. The other thing, of course, is that if you brake really, really hard, occasionally you can stall the engine. If you stall the engine, then obviously there are downsides to that, especially when you look in the mirror and there's a big truck about to climb all over you. So with the steering pad we have here, as you can see, it's just a large area of tarmac. And what I want to do is look at the relationship between the steering wheel and the throttle. As we take the car around, you can see that we've got these control circles. So if I take the car towards the control circle just on our right here, I've got the car in second gear, and we're just cruising it around. And I've set the car with a reasonable amount of steering on so that we follow the yellow line. And I'm going to keep the steering wheel perfectly still. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to increase the throttle gently, and you'll see that even though I don't move the steering wheel, that the car starts to go in a wider and wider and wider circle, which is basically understeer. So I can push the car further and further out. I still haven't moved the steering wheel, but we've moved at least 10 metres out. Now at this point you'll see the little orange light coming on the dash and the power being taken away from me, because this vehicle is fitted with Porsche stability management. Now when I take the power back off, then the car returns back to where it started from. With the power, just trying to be smooth with it and be delicate, just keep the car nice and balanced all the way through so that the car just works. You can feel the suspension started to tuck its way in as we come through. Just a little smear of the brakes as we bring the car into the next bit, and then back onto the power. Just easing it down into the second gear, just turning in smoothly, keep the car nice and balanced, turning in to the right again, just feeding the car through to my left, and then back on the power. So what I'd like to do now is to swap seats with you, and
It's time for me to have a go.
introduce you to the car.
Right.
Good. Okay.
I have to say, driving at almost 100 miles per hour around a high-speed bowl is an experience in itself and quite daunting at first. It takes some getting used to, but as you become more confident, the faster you go, and in the 911 the experience is quite supreme.